Now batting, Willy Adames.
Oh, yeah. They're playing my walk-up music.
Ooh, we love you, Willy.
I got my yellow armband on. I got my yellow shoes on.
Willy, have my baby. I love you, Willy. But in only a manly kind of way.
Yeah, I love you too. All right. No. Oh, wow. They're really going.
I love you,
Okay.
Willy.
Yeah. Take the hat off. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I love you all too. Yeah. Gonna hug myself. Give myself a pat on the shoulders. I'm patting you on the back, Milwaukee. Really love you guys. You mean a lot to me. Thank you.
We love you.
Here we go. Who's this pitching? Oh, don't know this guy. That's all right. Give me something good to hit, buddy. Give me something nice and juicy so I can show off for the old fans. Just give them a little bit of what they want. Okay, here it comes. Oh, that is real juicy. Ka-chow! Oh, yeah, baby. I'm going to watch that. Look at that. Oh, that's second deck. Oh, yeah. How do you like me now, Milwaukee?
Oh, you freaking suck, Willy.
Whoa.
Suck it, Willy.
What?
I hate you.
Wait, are the guys from Giant Cocktails here?
You suck. You
Whoa.
suck, Willy.
I feel like I'm at Dodger Stadium. Well, never liked them anywhere. They all drink warm beer and bad cheese.
You suck, Willy.
No, you suck, buddy.
Frick you.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, thank you. I like this. I like being booed by the opposing fans a lot. Oh, man. I wonder if we could build this stadium in San Francisco, though. Maybe I'll bring that up to Buster. But anyway. All right. Yeah, okay. Hey, way to go, buddy. There we go. Yeah. Let's kick these losers' butts. Yeah. Woo! Brewers suck. Hit it, Bob.
The Giants are rolling. The vibes are flowing. It's time for Giant Cocktails. Here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to episode 321 of Giant Cocktails. And Bob, buddy, it has been a long time since I heard you say that the vibes are flowing. And honestly, Matthew and I argued about this, whether or not it would be appropriate to do that. But that was a good series win, man.
It was. Got to take your vibes when you can, man.
That's right. I don't know when we're ever going to see them again. I took them for granted at the beginning of the season, and now I got it, yeah. So we're taking it, folks. And because it was such a great series win, we've got a little factoid for you from an all-time Giants great. Matthew, did you know that left-handed relief pitcher Steven Okert had a 3.21 ERA as a rookie for the 2016 Giants, who finished second in the NL West that year?
It really was the beginning of the end. And
they were flying high halfway through the season and then had one of the worst second halves in history and limped into the playoffs, all because of their great bullpen, dude. So what are you doing here? What's going on?
He had a 3.21 ERA. That's what I'm doing.
That's right. He had the right number. Yeah, way to go, Steven.
What's great is that Steven has not gone away. Steven's actually having a really good year this year.
That's right. Okert has pitched. He pitched for the Giants for 3 seasons, and now he's with the Houston Astros.
He's currently 2-2 with a 2.95 ERA, with a 0.793 WHIP, 67 strikeouts, and 58 innings pitched.
Wow. Matthew,
would it be nice to have a left-hander like that?
I mean, we had one, but he got hurt.
Fair.
I think we had one that was better than that. I think Miller was better than that.
I just want to clarify. Eric Miller has a better ERA at 1.50, but all of his underlying stats saying not better. I mean, his WHIP is 1.467, 22 strikeouts and 30 innings pitched. I think he was doing a little bit with smoke and mirrors this year, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Wow. Matthew just kicking a guy while he's down. kicking him right in the sore elbow.
Just speaking the truth. Speaking my truth, Ben.
All right. You're right. Stephen Okert's the best. I miss him. Can't believe he's gone. Wow.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
See, now that was banter, Bob. That was banter. So,
sometimes I think he just gets a little impatient and just wants you to get on with it.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, Bob, today I am drinking a cocktail that is a riff on a similar cocktail. It's basically the same recipe, but with a minor variation. The cocktail I'm drinking today is the Boulevard. If you know cocktails, you know what cocktail I'm doing a riff on. If you don't, then you'll have to wait till the end of the show to find out when I reveal the recipe. And that's what I'm drinking today, Bob. The Boulevard.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, last week, Plasticos left a comment and said our cocktails were too sweet. So I decided to go a little bit dry today. I am drinking a rye-based cocktail called Brooklyn. And I will tell you all about it at the end of the episode.
Matthew, is it true that if somebody leaves us a 5-star review, that you will basically do whatever they want if they write it into that review? And to be fair, I don't even think Plasticos said that they wanted drier cocktails. It's just like you assumed that they do, and so you're just doing it.
I was taking some honest feedback and thinking, maybe I could expand my horizons a little bit and skew away from the sweet, sour-based cocktails that I typically do. So I am thankful for the feedback. But no, I'm not going to do whatever anybody puts in a review.
I think that Matthew might do whatever you tell him to do. I think we need some people to put to some trial balloons, folks. I think we need to just why don't you just go leave us a 5-star review and just suggest some things that we could do on the show, and we'll see if Matthew does them. Hey, if they're really weird, I'll probably do them. Anyway, today is Sunday, August 24th, as we record this podcast. Our San Francisco Giants went 2-2 since we last spoke. Finishing off the Padres series, which we are going to talk about that because it's kind of funny. And also, but they went in to play the best team in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers. And I know that sounds weird to say. It sounds weird to say that's the best team in baseball. But it is. The Milwaukee Brewers, best team in baseball, best home team in baseball. Third best closer in baseball, at least by numbers of saves. And the Giants whooped them. 2-1. It was almost a sweep.
So close.
So close to a sweep. They played some really good baseball. So you can bet your bottom dollar we're talking about the Milwaukee Brewers series. After that, though, we're going to talk about one of the big reasons that the Giants looked so good during that Milwaukee Brewers series as we discuss a young man who Matthew and I had both written off.
I assumed that he would not be with the team next year. Now I have my doubts.
Correct. We're going to be talking about one Luis Matos. Is this just a flash in the pan? Or has he made a change? Yes, probably. But maybe not, Matthew. Because he looks a little bit different at the plate, and we're going to talk about what that difference is. But not right now. We're going to do that later.
Okay.
In segment 2. First, we have some tidbits. And the first tidbit we're going to cover is that stupid fourth game that they played against the Padres. And look, we already told you what was going to happen on Wednesday.
We did. We predicted it.
And
you were downright Nostradamus.
I was downright Nostradamus. Like, I said that Verlander was going to pitch a poor game because he basically has one good start and then he has one mediocre to bad start. But I also predicted that he was going to give up 5 runs in 4 innings pitched. Instead, he gave up 6 and 5, which feels very like the same. feels like the same. I feel like I got this 100%.
It feels like he gave up like 100 runs in 2 innings.
Well, I would say it felt like the Giants' defense really didn't do him any favors. But nonetheless, all those runs were earned. And Matthew, honestly, it felt like he gave up infinity runs in 0 innings pitched, is what it felt like.
I do want to point out, though, that he gave up 7 earned runs in 4 1/3 innings pitched.
Oh, is that what he did?
Yes. I think you were being kind.
I was being kind. Oh, because he was in the 5th inning. That's what I made. I did a simple, stupid mistake. Wow.
Yeah. Gage came in and couldn't rescue him.
Oh, that's what happened. Well, then I was better than I thought, Matthew. So 7 in 4 1/3. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess he shouldn't have pitched that extra 1/3 of an inning, should he have?
No.
So the Giants and Justin both got Verlandered, but there was something interesting that did happen in this game. Well, 3 interesting things. First of all, Luis Matos came back and had a pretty good game. But also somebody made his major league debut. Darling of spring training, Joel Peguero ended his 10-year odyssey in the minor leagues. And folks, that is the same amount of time that Odysseus was wandering home. From a place that was really like, it was like across the bay. I mean, this was like from Oakland to San Francisco kind of trip, and he took him 10 years. Okay?
And there were well, you got to blame the sirens. I mean, it was all their fault.
Well, I guess the gods kind of effed with him and all of that.
Well, that's true. Those darn gods. But
whatever. The thing is, it shouldn't have taken 10 years. And I think Joel probably feels the same way. But Matthew, on his first pitch as a major league pitcher, 102 miles an hour.
I feel like that was 10 years worth of just energy all into that first pitch.
I agree. He just had to get it all out there. And boom. And he pitched great. And has been pitching great. So the delayed but triumphant debut of Joel Peguero has so far looked really good. All right, Matthew.
Yeah.
There was another thing that happened in this game that I'm going to use as a segue into our next tidbit, which is all of the mistakes that we've made recently.
We made no mistakes. But
we've made so many, and when I said all of them, that's not true. I'm not.
I just don't know why we're admitting to them now. Like, I mean, we're in episode 321, and we make at least 2 or 3 errors every episode. I'm sure there are listeners that are yelling at us every time we do.
Oh, I'm sure. But so we're gonna make some of those listeners happy right now. I'm gonna make a whole army of people happy right now.
Oh,
in that game on San Diego, Matthew, Jung-Hoo Lee extended his hitting streak to 10 games, which you said you think, and I'm only going to say think, not 100% verified because I don't want to make another mistake. You think that was his second 10-game hitting streak of the month of August.
I think that's what I heard. I haven't checked it myself, but I think that's what I heard.
Mr. Jung-Hoo Lee is hitting .313 for the month of August. Not for a lot of power, but whatever. He's getting on base, and he's giving the other guys opportunities to knock him in. And recently, they've been taking advantage of that. Very recently. But yeah, so Jung-Hoo Lee, he's good again. I do have one question.
Okay.
Where was that in June and July, bro?
It takes a little while.
It takes a little while? Okay. Yep. Okay. Whatever. All right. Fine. It takes a little while. Also, another mistake, Matthew. We said that Kai Wei Tang, especially you, but also me, was going to get DFA'd. And then the Giants just optioned him down to the minor leagues. Because it turns out he has options left, which we had sort of we figured since he had been DFA'd once, that meant he didn't have options. And no, he was DFA'd previously to make room on the 40-man because Farhan was desperate. And in his desperation, he DFA'd old Kai Wei Tang.
I do just want to interject. I looked it up. It was an 8-game hitting streak to lead off August. Then he had then he went hitless in a game, and then he started his 10-game streak.
Wow. So. Okay. So there you go. But we didn't make that mistake because I asterisked it.
You did. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. But anyway, Kai Wei Tang, not going to be DFA'd because he's got options. So he's going to be around for a couple of years, folks. He's going to be that guy that when he shows up, you're going to be like, oh, things must not be going well in the pitching depth.
That's so true.
Yeah, like so when
he's
Kaiway
like the
takes
Grim
a-
Reaper of starting pitching.
He's going to show up in every August for the next 2 years, and he's goes, hello, it's me. And you're going to be like, oh, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah, minor mistake that Matthew said. He said that the Milwaukee Brewers and Cubs played a series in which the Cubs won the series 3 out of 4 games. They won the first 3 games, and then I think the Brewers won the last game or something. Anyway, Matthew lied to you, is the point. It turns out the Brewers and Cubs played a 5-game series.
Yeah, so in my defense, whenever is there a 5-game series? Okay, I just assumed that it was a 4-game series, and so my mistake, I will own up to it. But I think that deserves an asterisk as well because,
okay,
you know.
Yes. No, I think a better podcaster would have gotten that right, Matthew.
You're absolutely right. A better podcaster would have.
Yeah.
And a more sober one at that.
He's not here. I don't know who that is. Bob's shaking his head at me like he wouldn't have done it. So you're right. But anyway, it happened. Oh, I also said that Nestor Cortez was a mistake that the Padres would soon regret. Well, they don't regret it yet because Nestor Cortez actually dominated the Dodgers in his next start. He went 6 innings, gave up 1 hit, and he only struck out 2, but he walked none. Nestor Cortez, the Padres look like geniuses. But it also does occur to me that the Giants could beat Nestor, but the Dodgers couldn't.
Yeah, baseball's a funny game.
It is a funny game. And then also, thankfully, the last mistake that we made, Matthew and I thought that Landon Roop had seriously injured a tendon in his knee. And it turned out, no.
'Tis a flesh wound.
It's not a flesh wound.
'Tis a bone wound.
There you go. It's a bone wound. He bruised his bone, which is pretty serious. It's a serious injury. But the good news is they generally just heal themselves over time. And
do you think they tell him that he got boned? Do you think that's something they tell him?
I think that a group of baseball players, Matthew, making a joke like that, I think never.
They're too highbrow for that, aren't they?
No, yeah, definitely. They were all like, they would never, as they were having their tea. No, they would never say such things. Anyway, Matthew, it's time to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers series. Wow, I did not have high hopes. Even though I did say, Matthew, before the series started, I said in our last show that at least Giants fans will be able to get to watch a good team play. And then I said, and the Brewers will be there too. And then
you were trying to be funny. You were trying to make a little joke.
Yeah. I guess ha ha ha, because we all know that the Giants suck.
But then Willy Adames was all like, Giant Cocktails guys making the jokes. Let's show them.
Yeah, let's show them. But first I want to talk about exactly how good this Brewers team was. They were the best team in baseball. I still are. When they won the game on Friday night, Matthew, it was their 81st win of the year, which means they cannot have a losing season this year. They clinched at least a 500 season, and they would have to lose all of their remaining games in order for that to happen. Seems unlikely.
Wow.
We
haven't lost our 81st game yet, though, so we could still finish above 500.
That is true. If we could finish above 500 if we win all of our games. That is true. You are absolutely right. It's also not going to happen. They also had the best home record in baseball, Matthew, and had been getting better recently. They absolutely dominate at home. And their closer, McGill, had the 3rd most saves in the major leagues going into Friday night. So, yes.
I can see why they have a really good home record, though, because that stadium was amazing.
It is amazing.
And I have a goal to go visit all 30 major league ballparks, and I might move Milwaukee up on my list because honestly it was towards the bottom. But now I might go because the whole fan-shaped clamshell roof thing that they just randomly open and close whenever they feel like it, apparently, in the middle of the game, was really cool looking. I thought that was a really nice ballpark.
I think they usually don't open it. I think it's usually closed, because it's cold and then it's hot there, right?
Yeah.
The Midwest United States. No offense, people, but why? Anyway, yeah. So, that's why they usually do that. And the fans just always sound amazing there, right? there's just
Well,
all kinds
and
of...
this weekend was sold out all 3 games, and then culminating in Bob Uecker Day.
Well, because Willie was coming back, and
Willie
they had
was
Bob
coming back,
Uecker Day,
yes.
and so there was a lot of reasons there. And the team is playing really well, right? You're the number 1 team in baseball. Yeah, why wouldn't you be going to Brewers games right now? So yeah, that was a really awesome vibe there. But what I really appreciated is how well the Giants played against them, and Willie really set the tone, was like, boom, it's good to be at a place where I can see the baseball and I'm going to just annihilate it. And then later in that same game, he went uppo. And they really didn't like him after that.
No, they did not.
Yeah, they really didn't like him. There were 0 cheers when he came up to bat. There were a few boos, and then there were a lot of boos after that second home run.
His second at bat, though, was pretty funny, and maybe we should have included that in our intro. But what I really liked was that they were booing him relentlessly when he came up for his second at bat, and he couldn't stop laughing in the batter's box. Like he was having a great time. He thought it was great, and which was fun. It was Midwestern fans and their love for their players. It's unmatched, and it was kind of fun to see that interaction this weekend.
Yeah, and you only boo a guy that much if you really love him.
Absolutely.
Unless it's Tommy Lasorda. It really means we hate you. And I know you're gone, but still. God, remember that when he got up and everybody's booing him and he goes on the mic and he says, "I love you too."
No, but okay.
That was pretty cool, but I still hate that guy. All right. Anyway, but it's not about Tommy Lasorda. It's about the Giants. And Luis Matos continued his tear. Was 2 for 4? Factored in.
He was 2 for 3.
2 for 3.
With 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a walk.
He did steal a base and then tried to take third base on the throw and on because the throw went gone, and then he got thrown out at third because he hesitated. That wasn't great, but everything else he did was amazing. And even more amazing was that after Whisenhunt, he didn't look great. But it didn't look awful, and he really labored a lot. He looked real hot and sweaty, honestly.
He did.
He looked really like, I was like, oh man, somebody just get a fan on that white boy. You know what I mean? He looked like he was wilting out there. And I felt for him. But I also was like, I was impressed by how he mustered through. Mustard? He mustered through? What is that?
Let's go with it. Yes.
Yeah, he mustered through. And he was throwing mustard or something. Whatever. Anyway, point is, Whisenhunt, okay. Not great, but okay. What do you expect from a rookie making his 5th start or whatever? And to make things more interesting, the Giants rallied. Right? By scoring a 2-out run off of their amazing closer.
A wild pitch at that.
That's right. Well, so Matos led off with the double. Well, not led off. There were 2 outs. Matos doubles. And then I can't remember how he advanced to third. Was there a single? I can't remember. Matthew will look it up. But then, yeah, you're right. He scores on the wild pitch. And there's been moments like that recently where it's just like that luck factor that hadn't been going the Giants' way suddenly seems to be like evening out a little bit. If it's not, at least like it's not going all their way, but at least they're getting half of them,
Matos advanced to third on pinch hitter Dominic Smith's line shot off the pitcher.
That's right. That's right. And I felt like that I thought that was an unlucky moment, but after watching the replay, I think the second baseman was going to get that.
I think, yeah. It wasn't hit that hard. I think it would have.
Lopez said it was, Javi said it was 80 miles an hour off the bat. And so he was thinking, no, that's not going to go up the middle. I think Fleming suggested it might have, but Lopez was like, no, I don't think so. So that might have been a break for the Giants too. And then, the wild pitch, game tied.
And then Randy Rodriguez is learning that it's not so easy to close out a game.
Yeah.
Or at least to pitch the ninth.
No, and it sucked. I mean, walk-off home runs always suck, and it's very deflating. But, it was like they fought hard. It was an entertaining game. I was like, okay, I enjoyed that. I wish they'd gone our way, but, whatever. My expectations are low.
Well, there was no point in that game where I felt like the Giants were like the worst team. Like it felt like they were equally matched.
Exactly. And going with like our seventh starter,
right?
Our number 7 guy, right? So yeah, I totally agree. Then there was game 2, Matthew. And I don't know if you know this, but one of the things that's supposed to be amazing about the Milwaukee Brewers is their defense. And I have to say, it was pretty amazing. Those guys are running everywhere.
Their second baseman, that dude, man, just he hoovers anything near him. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they were diving and throwing their bodies all over about there. And like whenever the Giants flared those ducks out into no man's land, all 3 guys would be like sprinting towards it, and you'd be like, oh man, all 3 of those dudes are going to die. And then somehow they would avoid each other most of the time. There was one collision on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, the defense was great. Until it wasn't. And they made 2 errors in 1 inning. And honestly, that throwing their bodies around, just jumping back to game 1, was kind of what let Matos get to second base. The center fielder dove for that ball and let Matos get to second as a result. And that ended up costing them. But, live by the sword, die by the sword, I guess. And so, yeah, and then the Giants took advantage of those mistakes, especially Casey Schmidt. Boom.
Our second base of the future.
Second baseman of the future. Yes, you're right. We don't need to get.
What did you say? You said I was what?
I said you were a mite.
Okay. Pretty sure you said I was right, but all right, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, you're a mite. Yeah, I said you're right. But
I thought what was interesting in that game, the only thing, aside from the Giants winning, was the little confrontation between the catcher and Dominic Smith in the 9th inning. After Contreras had thrown his bat at Smith, or in front of Smith, I should say, as he was trying to catch a foul pop-up.
In front of, at... I think
potato,
either one
potato,
of these...
tomato, yeah.
Yeah, potato, tomato, exactly. Potato, tomato, exactly.
And I, you don't get an opportunity sometimes to see like guys talking out of play after it's happened. And then in the 9th inning, Dominic Smith happened to bat.
He was leading off.
Wanted to make sure that Contreras knew that he had thrown his bat in his direction. And I wish I was the umpire. I would have really liked to have heard that conversation.
He was listening intently.
He was.
In fact, folks, I took a screenshot of it for Matthew and I to look at while we have this discussion. And these are 3 gentlemen who are very close to each other. Like, the umpire is uncomfortably close, and he's not as close as the other 2 are.
Yeah, let's just say if Smith decided he wanted to spit, that Contreras would have a loogie right in his eye.
I think Contreras probably did spit on Smith as he was talking, and Contreras did a lot of talking. It was a lot of words coming out of his mouth, and his face did look like the man who was saying, like, I would never do that. And he does not look...
he did that.
He doesn't look angry. Yeah, I do think he did do that. That's the way it looked like to me. Like Javi said, maybe it looked like he was trying to get around Bailey so he could throw the bat, and because Bailey was running out there to get the ball as well. But I was like, dude, you could have just dropped it. You could have left it on the infield. You saw Smith coming by as you threw the bat. It looked intentional to me. But, I guess no harm, no foul. But Dom did ask him about it. And these were 2 very large men having a conversation where one of them looked like he was being apologetic. So, yeah. It was amusing. It was amusing.
It was. Before we move on to game 3, though, I do want to say that we tend to always take Logan Webb for granted. And I just want to say that Logan Webb was Logan Webb. And just like how great is it? And I know I've mentioned this once before, but how great is it that we have a guy like Logan Webb where you can just bet that you're going to be in the game, the whole game when he pitches?
It's pretty great. Matthew. I think those people that call him a box score ace are idiots.
Idiots. Idiots. Yeah.
Actually, though, I am pretty proud of coining that term. I'm going to have to save that one. Yes, totally agree. We are very lucky to have him and Robbie Ray. Because in Game 3, it was Robbie Ray win day, Matthew.
It was. And I kept telling myself that. Robbie Ray win day. Robbie Ray win day. But before we talk about that, I just want to know, what's your favorite Bob Uecker memory?
My favorite Bob Uecker memory?
Yeah.
Oh, there are so many. There are so many. Episode 53 of Mr. Belvedere holds a very special place in my heart.
As it does for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows it's the best. Let's see what else. I really liked the I must be in the front row commercials. Those were my favorite Bob Uecker commercials.
Classic.
Yeah. How about you?
Just a bit outside. And that's got to be up there.
Oh,
right?
that was. I mean, that's peak Uecker as an actor, I think. Because here's the thing, Bob Uecker was a really nice guy who loved his team. He loved the Brewers. That announcer does not love the Indians. And he does not love the quality of baseball that they're playing at the beginning of that, right? He hates his job. He hates his life. That's the announcer in that baseball game. And that is the exact opposite. Sorry, in that movie. And that is the exact opposite of Bob Uecker. Now, he does come around, of course, when the Indians rally to make it to the playoffs, or I don't remember what it is. I think they make it to the playoffs. They spoiler alert. If you've never seen Major League, stop listening for 20 seconds. They beat the Yankees at the end to make it to the playoffs. Yeah, and then Charlie Sheen's character has an affair with Corbin Burns'. No, not Corbin Burns.
Burns' wife.
Yeah, the third baseman's wife. That wasn't relevant to anything, but I thought since I was throwing out spoilers. And then he punches him at the end after they win.
I will say, don't sleep on Mr. Belvedere, though. Okay, I mean that 6 seasons, and they covered some serious topics during those 6 seasons. They
Especially
covered AIDS,
53.
bulimia. Like, I mean, they had some really hard hitting topics on Mr. Belvedere. So ahead of its time.
Wow,
really ahead of its time.
All right, I don't even remember what happened in episode 53, Matthew.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and then only thing really in Game 3 was that Luis Matos.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. Like, I texted you about this at the beginning. I was like, okay, so the Brewers are this great juggernaut, and the Giants go toe-to-toe with them and win the series because Luis Matos? ?
You could argue. I mean, Luis Matos, I must say, he raised his batting average from 178 to 209.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
What was he? He was like 5 for 11 in the series?
Yeah. And he was 2 for 4 on Sunday with 2 runs scored and 2 RBI. Just a different player.
6 for 11, excuse me. Yeah, I agree. Maybe we should talk about it.
Maybe we should.
All right. It's time for segment 2. Luis Matos. Matthew. We've seen Luis Matos perform at a level that we haven't seen since he was the NL Player of the Week 2 seasons ago, I think.
Last year?
I don't think it was last year. Was it last year? Anyway, it was so long ago, we can't remember. The point is, suddenly, in the last, admittedly, 4 games, he looks like the guy that we all hoped he would be. Is this a real change? Is this something we can believe in?
Well, sometimes you think players go through hot streaks and you're not really sure how to attribute it. And I just looked it up and it was in May of 2024. So it was last year.
Okay. All right.
One thing that you and I did is that we went back and looked at video of Luis Matos' swing early in the season and Luis Matos' swing now.
Correct.
And not a lot of difference, but one key difference is that he's not picking up that front foot nearly as much as he did earlier. He's so much more quiet in his swing.
Right.
Very, very still, not a lot of movement. And that seems to have really made a difference for him, at least in this short sample. And so if that has been the key, now he can track balls better. Now he can he could put his bat on the same plane as the ball easier because he's staying still more. Maybe this is a real change.
Well, this was something that Fleming and Javi Lopez were talking about during the game on Sunday today, as we record this podcast. And they were talking about exactly that, how he was more quiet at the plate. And that it made that he was quicker to the ball. And so, yeah, that's what I was looking for when we went and looked at video. And it really does look like the changes are very minor, but it really is much more quiet. First of all, his stance isn't as open, right? That front foot, he would kind of have it a little bit open, and then he would move it in, right? And so it was not just a tap, but he would lift it up and then move it in. So he would kind of pivot his body. But also, his hands, he was waggling the bat. He would have this little waggle to the bat, and then while he was waggling the bat, he would lift his foot and then lift his hands. All of that is still what he kind of does, but the stance, first of all, is not as open. So when he lifts his foot, he's really more just lifting it and putting it down. It's more of a tap. Although I did notice that he does reach a little bit when he does step in a little bit when he's looking at balls on the outside. But what has really gotten way more still is the hands. The waggle of the bat is completely gone, and his hands are very still. And when he makes that timing step, it's just a fluid, just single lift of the hand and then swing. So all of this extra movement is gone, and it doesn't look like a lot, but you're sort of like, yeah, all of this movement has just disappeared, and now it's just step and swing. And so
that seems like a really logical way to hit a baseball, but of course, everybody's got their own, nuances to their swing. My question is, how does a change like this happen? Is it at the major league level, or is it, when he went back to the minors, it was something they decided to work on? And then my bigger question is, who is they?
Yeah, well, no, that's an excellent question. I wish I knew the answer. But I do know this, if the player's not open to it, it's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. But that is an excellent question, because it sort of begs the question, we hear who the batting coaches are, right? At the major league level, it's Damon Minor and Pat Burrell. And then, of course, you have, overseeing them, you have Bob Melvin. But then there's also Randy Wynn, who is the VP of player development. You have the director of the farm system, which is Kyle Haynes. All former players, right? Every single one of these guys, well, we've seen Matthew, you and I have seen all of them play for the Giants except for Kyle Haynes, right? Yeah. And so all of them former players, certainly all of them coaches. And so the question is, whose idea was this? Is this a hitting coach down at Sacramento? Is this like a silo where the guys up top don't really think about this and it really becomes Sacramento's problem? Or is this an organizational thing where everybody's on the same page? I don't know. And I would love to know, where did this idea come from? And how did it get proposed to Matos? I do know that certainly he must have been working on it, because this is a recent change, right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't down there that long.
No. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's does he get sit down, and then is this I want to make a change? Or when he gets sent down, they're like, hey, we think that you would benefit from this. It's, and I think we're only talking about it because there's been some positive results out of this change. But yeah, really just why now? So far into his Giants tenure, and could this be the one that finally unlocks his potential? It's crazy, and it just kind of begs the question: how does that happen, and why did it take so long?
And yeah, it could be that one, if he's having success, you're not going to say anything, right? You generally don't tinker with things that are, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then when it's broken, again, if the player's not receptive to it, he's not going to do it. And so, I think that's a large part of it. I think that like the position that he's in, he's out of options. He's been sent down to the minors, right? Like his agent, if not him, should be able to at least come to the same conclusion that you and I came to, which is like, if you're getting sent down in August of your last option year, that's not a good sign.
No.
And so,
and then they bring in this Drew Gilbert to come in and they traded for him. And so I'm thinking that, well, they're going to want this guy to play. And yet Matos comes up and immediately is put into the lineup. And then today he's starting against a right-hander when you'd think that they would want Drew Gilbert to get that opportunity. So, like, what is the organization's feelings around Luis Matos? Or Bob Melvin must like him.
I think Bob Melvin does like him. I think we've had this conversation before. I mean, I guess the question is, like, you're asking, like, so one thing that's interesting. Today, the pitcher Patrick for the Brewers is a right-hander.
Yeah, and Matos got the start. When you would think if the season's over, you got this guy Gilbert that you want to give him an opportunity, he should be starting against a right-hander because he's a left-handed hitter.
Right. On the other hand, Matos has had most of his success this year against right-handed pitching. And like my answer to that would be it's pretty simple. Like, first of all, he's got the hot hand, right? He's the 2 games that he played in, he hit really well. You know that he hits right-handers well, so I'm going to have him go out there and get this start. The other thing is that Bob Melvin plays the guys that he thinks are the best, going to give him the best chance to winning every day. Like, I've talked about that before.
So Bob Melvin is not the manager you would want at the end of a season when things are already decided and you want to give the young guys a chance to prove themselves?
Correct. No, you do not. No, because Bob Melvin wants to win every day. He doesn't care what the standings say. Like,
so shouldn't Drew Gilbert be optioned back to AAA just so he gets a chance to play?
Well, I mean, I think maybe that's why Matos went back down, right? Like, maybe Buster knows. Like, this is what we learned about Melvin last year. Like, if Farhan wanted Luciano to play, he needed to make the roster such that Bob Melvin had no choice. And when Matos was down and there weren't any other better options, and maybe that's why Yaz got traded. Because if Yaz was there, he'd be playing. Because Bob is going to put the best team that he can on the field. That's why nobody ever gets rests. That's why Rafael Devers was mad today. Because he didn't get the start for the first time in the whole year. Right? So, like, Bob Melvin plays the best possible team that he can. And that's why Gilbert isn't going to get a sniff as long as Matos is hitting. And, like, I'm not saying that Matos is the best option in the whole world, but in Melvin's mind, he's the better option than Gilbert. So that's who's going to get the starts.
Yeah, which is fair because he is. But if you also want Drew Gilbert to gain experience and see what he's got at the major league level, you need to let him play. And so for Bob Melvin to be like playing to win games when we're not going to make the playoffs seems like a bad decision in regards to our future. Like, you got to know what Drew Gilbert can do, don't you?
I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, I think they should
And he may not play well. Like, I get that. It's not like I'm expecting him to be this great player, but to get some major league experience is valuable. And right now you should be playing the guys that need that experience.
No, I agree. I personally think it should stay this way. I think it should be Matos and Gilbert the rest of the way out.
Well, I think we maybe a couple episodes ago, we asked about who was going to be the right fielder. Were they still on the roster? And we said Gerard and Gilbert. But could it be instead Matos and Gilbert?
I mean, Matos has he has one more year left, right? Like if he has a good end of this year and a good spring, he could save his job and he could be a Giant.
Yeah, you can start the season on the roster for sure.
Yeah. Like, I think, and I think it's like, it's not like the Giants are going to go out and get somebody better in right field. They're not going to get Kyle Tucker. I know you're yelling that at the podcast right now. Dude, they're not going to get him. Like, stop it. What in the past history, what since Barry Bonds makes you think they're going to get the big free agent?
Yeah, we gotta just.
You got to let the
fact
Tucker
that no
thing
hitter
go.
wants to hit in Oracle Park.
Yeah,
No hitter.
and so it's going to be whoever they have on the roster now. And so he could win the job, and it's very winnable. You
Absolutely.
know? And I don't think
he just needs to work on his sliding. I mean, gosh, the last few days, man, those slides have been horrendous.
Who Matos's?
Matos, man, it's like he's sliding on Velcro, man. It's just
Well, I did find it interesting that Andrew Gilbert left a bat right in his pathway when he dropped that bunt down.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
And
that
Contreras, who we've already talked about,
he should have thrown it at the first baseman.
Yeah, made one. He should have. He should have thrown it at the first baseman. He should have thrown it at Contreras, but but Contreras made one of the best tags I've ever seen a catcher make. But anyway, neither here nor there. My point is that I think that Matos has a shot. I think it should stay these two guys for the rest of the season. I would like to see Gilbert play more, but Bob is probably going to run Matos out there because that's what Bob do.
That's what Bob do.
That's what Bob do. All right, Matthew. We got to wrap it up. It's time to talk about what's coming. And I'm just going to try to replicate what we did last week.
It worked.
So no, not these guys. Not the Cubs.
Ben, we're playing the Chicago Cubs, who are 21 games over 500
and their
right now.
vaunted offense.
Yep, and I hate to tell you that the starting pitchers for the Giants are Verlander, Whisenhunt, and Webb.
Okay, so you're telling me probable loss, and a win.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
but Whisenhunt is the wild card there, right? Because we know that Verlander is going to lose. Although this is Verlander's turn to pitch well.
Okay, but he's still going to lose. Yeah,
that's right. He'll lose 2-1. You're right. What am I saying?
So every other game, the Giants get Verlandered. Every other game, he gets Verlandered.
Yeah,
by the
agreed.
Giants.
Yes.
So he's gonna throw 10 innings of perfect baseball, Matthew. He's gonna throw 10 innings of perfect baseball, and the
Giants will lose 1-0.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. In the 11th, after he finally gets pulled, because and the Giants will throw a perfect game, but that runner will still score, and then they won't get the runner home, and they'll lose in the bottom of the 11th.
Okay.
Because thanks to Manfred, that can happen now.
Yeah, it can.
A perfect game where they lose 1-0.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Yes, Bob, it is. But could it, if it goes into the 10th inning, is it no longer a perfect game, Bob? Because there's a base runner now.
You have to finish the game for it to be a perfect game.
Well, I understand that, but what if you finish the game in the 10th? There's a guy on base, Matthew.
Oh. Well, there's ERA doesn't count against him, so I gotta think that the perfect game would count too.
Yeah, you're right, because he didn't let that guy get there. I don't like this. Oh, this makes me mad.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Bob, I'm drinking a cocktail called the Boulevard. It's basically a Boulevardier. But I changed one ingredient because I don't like it. And
you don't like your sweet vermouth?
No, I don't like sweet vermouth, Matthew, because it's got wormwood in it, and I don't like the taste of wormwood. I don't really love bitter stuff, but I don't naturally just hate all bitter things. But I do not like the aftertaste of wormwood, and so that's a problem with most Amaros and definitely Campari. And that's the way it is. But anyway, so I am drinking a Boulevard, which is a riff on the Boulevardier, and it has 2 ounces of rye whiskey, 3/4 of an ounce of Averna instead of sweet vermouth. Slightly bitter, a little bit sweet, like sweet vermouth, but none of that nasty wormwood aftertaste. It also then has 2 teaspoons of Cherry Heering liqueur. That's also 1/3 of an ounce. And then it has 1/2 a teaspoon of absinthe. You combine all of those ingredients into a mixing glass with ice. You stirred that to your desired level of dilution, and then you strain that into a stemmed cocktail glass, and you garnish it with a brandied cherry. Now, here's one thing I would say. The absinthe really controls the flavor of this cocktail. So I would say start light and then modify from there as you experiment with this cocktail. Because it just it just dominates. It dominates if you use too much according to your palate. And that goes for the Boulevardier as well as my Boulevard. Anyway, that's what I'm drinking today, Bob. The Boulevard.
That's a tasty cocktail.
I actually like it a lot. And I think Mr. Plasticos, or Ms. Plasticos, would approve. Dry.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm drinking a drink called Brooklyn. I didn't make it up. It's I don't know if a classic is too strong of a word, but it is an old time recipe that's been around for a while. And what's in it? It's got 2 ounces of rye whiskey. You could use bourbon if you didn't have a rye. It makes a lovely cocktail with bourbon as well. 1 ounce of dry vermouth, 1/4 ounce of maraschino liqueur, and 1/4 ounce of Amaro Nonino. You're going to take all those ingredients and stir them in a mixing glass with ice. Then you're going to strain them into a chilled coupe glass. And traditionally, this drink has no garnish. But if you want to throw a brandied cherry and or an orange twist in there, that will work just fine. I actually really do enjoy an orange twist. That first sip that you take with the orange goes really good with the rest of the cocktail. So Plasticos, this is for you. Not an overly sweet cocktail, but very balanced, boozy, very tasty. So that's what I'm drinking. Brooklyn.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It really is, and I'm glad to be trying something out of my comfort zone because this was really good. And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for following us. We will be back on Thursday with more Giants content. If you can't wait that long to get your fix, feel free to reach out to us on the social medias. You can find us in all the places that you would normally be, except that one. But you can also find us on YouTube, where you can leave a comment and subscribe. You can also do the same on Spotify, and also leave us a review, a 5-star review. Let us know what you like about the podcast, what you don't, but please make sure it's 5 stars because otherwise I go into a deep, dark depression when I get less than 5. Ben, it was great talking Giants with you. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Matthew. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. Until next time, bottoms up.
I'm just trying to make a joke, not get arrested.
It's been a long time since I've had a prawn. I now I want some prawns.
Yeah, prawns. I'm going to cut out everything except that part of I'm just trying to make a joke, not get arrested.
Aren't we all? Just us going through life, trying to make jokes without getting arrested.
Fine line. Oh, man. Folks, drinking and making this show, you think it would be easy.
Oh, man. Then people want not so sweet cocktails. Turns out not so sweet cocktails are full of booze. Oh,
First of all, they didn't say they wanted. They didn't say that, Matthew. They didn't say that.
that's what I read. That's what I read. Okay.
They said the cocktails are too sweet for their taste. They didn't they admit that there's other people out there in the world, which is like, first of all, most of humanity. Okay. Disneyland, I don't know if you know this, Matthew, serves cocktails now.
Oh, just when I left Southern California.
Just when you left.
Yeah, 9 years ago.
Yeah, and I've been there and I've had those cocktails and they're all incredibly sweet. You want to know why?
Because all the people from the Midwest come to LA looking for cocktails.
Because humanity likes sweet cocktails, okay? Plasticos is the weird one. We're the normal ones. Okay? Nobody drinks martinis because they're all awful. The reason why the best martini is one without dry vermouth.
It's because dry vermouth is awful.
Yes.
I was actually pretty surprised at this Brooklyn. It was actually very palatable. I actually really liked it. I would drink that again. But if I were to choose between that and a sour drink, I'm picking the sour every day.